welcome back to Study with Additti. My name is Additti and this channel is dedicated to revision tips and tricks along with much more to help make your schooling life a whole lot easier. Today I'll be doing a video on how to revise drama. If you don't already know, this video is part of a series called the How to Revise a Certain Subject series. In this series I'll be covering as many subjects as possible, and if you have any requests for any subjects, comment down below and I'll see what I can do. Those of you that watched my GCSE results video will know that I didn't actually take drama myself, not even a GCSE. So for this video I actually got the advice from one of my friends. She did drama at GCSE and she did quite well. So here is her advice basically. She's categorised this to make this video easier, and really I'm just the person telling it to you. Instead of having a piece of paper with all the notes on, this time I have my phone. So again, if I do look down at any point during this video, that's why. First of all, we're going to start off with theory. As with every subject, there are practice papers, and my friend recommends that you do these practice papers from your board or any other board. There are also websites you can use, and make sure you practiced in timed conditions, because even though I didn't do drama, I definitely know that practicing within timed conditions is critical for practice papers or practice questions, because I mean you can spend like half an hour on one question, but in the exam are you really going to have that time? No. So it's better to do them in exam conditions and really get a feel of what the exam would be like. She also recommends that you practice with other people, because like in English, any answer is a good answer, and as long as you can justify it, you can get some marks. And also once you've done these practice questions or practice papers, try and get them marked by teachers to ensure that your structure of your questions is perfect, and that way you can memorise that sort of structure and use it in your real thing. Also, as with other subjects, there are examiners' comments and examiners' reports at the end of many practice papers. So you can go onto your exam board website and they'll have that there. So make sure you read through those and look at any exemplar answers. Even looking at lower mark answers that the exam board have given can be quite good, because that way you can steer away from those mistakes. Now we're going to move on to the second part, which is acting. Drama is all about acting in the end. So one top tip that she's given is to rehearse your lines as much as possible. I mean, at the end of the day, in your performance you're not really going to have your script, so it'd be kind of silly not to learn your lines. But again, as with other subjects, I know that can be quite hard to remember. It's like going over flashcards before you go to bed. Yes, in the moment you don't really want to do it, but at the end you have so much less to cram in and it will honestly help you so much. Ask someone to test you perhaps, and when you do it with expressions, try and record yourself and watch it. Try and see if there's anything you'd change, anything you'd make better basically. That way, when you keep reviewing yourself, as with anything, if you take some time to reflect on your performance, then you're only going to get better really. Once you've learned a section, try and cover it up and make sure that you can say it out loud afterwards. I'm not going to lie, I used to do this with spellings in like year 2 and it worked. So I mean, it must work with learning lines. For group scenes, try and organise time outside of lessons to practice, because a lesson might be 50 minutes or an hour at the max, and you may not get everything that you need to get done in that time. A performance is a performance, and for a performance you're going to need props and costumes. Don't assume that everything's going to be sorted by the time you need it. Try and get things done beforehand, because if you don't have your props and your costumes, I'm assuming you'll lose marks. Also, before any dress rehearsal you do, make sure you test the props and the costumes in case any changes need to be made, because on the day of the performance that can't happen and you may lose marks for a prop being broken or something like that. Another pro tip is to watch past performances of your character. So say I was playing Juliet in Romeo and Juliet as a really basic example. I'd go on YouTube and I'd try to find different versions of Juliet being played. You don't necessarily have to watch professionals act your part. You can ask your teacher or your drama department to see recordings of previous students, for example exemplar students that have gotten a very high grade from the way they're acting. That might also be more accessible in terms of level. When it comes to your actual performance, my friend recommends that if you happen to forget your lines, just keep carrying on. I don't know if you guys do musical grades out there, but it's kind of the same thing with sight reading. If you get a note wrong or something, it's much better to just continue rather than go back and play that note right. You also can't stop an official recording once it's started unless you have a very, very good reason. So I mean, that basically forces you to carry on even if you do forget your lines. It's also a good idea to play around with characters to see which one suits you best. The character that you end up playing can have a very big impact on the performance, because if it doesn't suit you and your acting style, then it won't go the way that you want it to. If you have to use an accent in your performance, try and use that accent as much as you can with family and even close friends. In my opinion, every accent has its own identity, and the more that you get used to that identity when you're speaking in an accent, the better it is for your performance. So if you're doing an American accent for your performance, for example, most TV shows and films are American, so most of the actors are American. So try and imitate them. Yes, it can sound weird and you might not want to be doing that in a cinema, but it's only going to help you with your performance. Anyway, I'm sorry this is a short video, but having not done the subject myself, I can't really help. So as usual, if anyone out there has done drama, in this case GCSE and A-level, please comment down below, because in the end we're all here to help each other out. If you haven't already, please do subscribe and also hit the bell icon. That way you'll be notified of every single time I post and you'll be here early. Thank you for watching and goodbye!